All right, good morning, Major League Trading members. It is 8 a.m. Central Time, October 12th, 2018. Today is a gift. Make it our best. It's time to trade. Put your skills to the test. All right. Economic events for the day and trend biases. Before the bell at 8:30 a.m., we have import prices. After the bell, we have uh, FOMC member Evans speaking at 9:30, 10 a.m. Michigan Consumer Sentiment Index. At 12:30, FOMC member Bostic will be speaking. And then at 1 p.m., Baker Hughes rig count for oil. Trend biases of the prior day: ES bearish, Nasdaq bearish, Dow bearish, Russell bearish. Overnight has been neutral across the board in all four indexes. On a shorter term time frame, the ES is bearish, the Nasdaq is bearish, the Dow is bearish, and the Russell is still bearish. Midterm time frame and longer time frame, guys, bearish. So this is the first time in a while. Basically, all of the time frames are dominated by the bears. For our previous day summary in the S&P 500, I will load that up here. This can be found in the morning trade plan worksheet on the website, majorleaguetrading.com, for our members. The bell to bell high of the prior day, all the way up at 27.9875, which was pretty early in the morning. The bell to bell low down at 27.12 quarter towards the end of the day there. Settlement was 27.45 half. Value area high 27.82. Value area low 27.37. With the point of control at 27.70. European close 27.6175. Volume on the session 3,920,000 contracts. That's a lot of volume. It's the most volume I think I've seen in a few months. The floor trader pivot point support and resistance levels, guys. R4A all the way up at 29.18 half. R3 28.78 half. R2 28.3875, and R1 is at 27.92. Pivot point for the day 27.52 quarter. S1 27.05 half. S2 26.6575. S3 26.19, and S4A 25.72 half. For our 10-day range analysis, the previous day 86.5 points from the bell to the bell. Huge move still here, guys. The median's been 24, so basically more than 3 times our median. That median will expand because we have had some bigger days here, but 24 points has been our median, and we had 86.5 yesterday. It's crazy. The entire session also 86.5. 28.75 is the median. Once again, that is more than 3 times our median. Overnight 39.25, in first hour 26.75. So guys, ranges are still huge, absolutely huge. Index strength percentage change from the settlements for the trading days only. S&P down 1.28%. Dow led our way lowered, minus 1.3%. Guys, Nasdaq closed even on the day, and the Russell was down 1.07%. So big moves, big moves. 5 days, we have been crushed. Nasdaq's down 6% over a 10-day period. It's down 8%. The Russell over the last 5 days down 5.8%. It's down 8.4% over 10 days. And then really the strongest market over the last 5 days, which is completely relative to them all being extremely weak, it would be the Dow. So just something to pay attention to. The most aggressive market to the downside was the Nasdaq, but the Nasdaq was flatlined yesterday, so that could be a tell that maybe selling pressure's over because the weaker market here has kind of run out of exhaustion. I know Perry was talking about the Nasdaq needing to get over value area high right before I got on, so I'm going to just roll over to the Nasdaq, or stay above value area high. Nasdaq is above its value area, that is 70.81. If we can hold above those value areas, the rest of these markets do have the possibility of rallying, but if we cannot, we will most likely fall back into the range. I want to take this opportunity to go over the technicals for the day, for the morning trade plan here. I'm going to start with oil and gold, and then we'll move in a full breakdown into the indexes here. So oil had this halfway back we talked about last week, or actually, I'm sorry, it was this week. It was Tuesday, Wednesday. We have completed that negative 61.8% profit target towards the end of the day yesterday. It was a puke into close, 70.69 completed, and then you can see once we had that completion, it was just a nice clean short covering rally. The next move I would begin to look for would just be that high of the week, which is Tuesday's high, drawn to that low. That is 72.95 and lines up right around the area of the prior low of the week. The prior low of the week before we broke down is 73.07, so it's within 12 ticks of that 50% retracement, which I will set an alert on that 72.95 here. So I'm going to go ahead and place an alert there. Be aware of that. Also want to be aware of a potential retest of this 70.69. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to throw an alert down at that 70.69. I really like, we came off that pretty aggressively. When we come off these levels aggressively, I like to pay attention to that first candlestick. There is an hourly leg start there. One of my favorite indicators is that hourly leg start, and then you can also see on the daily chart, guys, this is right about where we broke out. I believe there's a gap fill there. Like rarely is there bigger gaps in oil. Yes, there is. So there was also a gap fill from Friday to the Sunday night open. So we also filled the gap in that area, and I want to find out what that exact level for that gap is. It's 70.71. Well, I did not pay attention to that the prior day, but that is a fantastic entry. So that low too high then. So much going on, you forget to pay attention to these other markets like gold yesterday. The gold was a way better market to trade the indexes, in my opinion, on the prior day. I mean, it was straight up. We talked about that one in the morning. I tried to highlight it, but we have held this long here. That's going to target 72.40, and then we'd look for that next move here. Let me go ahead and move on to gold. The extension. So if you guys remember that first gold, my charts were basically frozen yesterday in the morning, but gold was the first market to trade its pullback on the prior day. Now that's low too high. All right, this is what traded yesterday morning at the open. We had marked up that 1209 to the 1207 support zone as being a potential entry. We traded that, we ripped, and then we rallied a full 20 points. 20 points. That's huge for gold. Absolutely massive move. We rallied 20 points from that opening entry. That same anchor new high sequence is a 38% retracement is 1219. I also really like this 1216 zone. This is a double level for me. I don't know if we get down there. If we cannot hold the 1219, we are going to get down to that 1216 zone, and I have a 38 and a 50% retracement that I would like to look at. Going to the hourly chart, I do want to just mark up, guys, we do have a leg start lower here, and then basically this is going to be our resistance. Once we clear this 1226 zone, I'm just going to mark this up like this. Once we clear this zone, we will look for targets based on where we bottomed, but we do need to get above 1226 to 1227.7, and then once we do that, I expect fully to get a move up towards the 1234 to the 1236 zone. All right, so that's going to wrap it up for the commodities here this morning, both gold and oil. We'll move on to the indexes, starting with the S&P 500, the low of Tuesday. Okay, so that's the low of the week to low, traded in extension on the prior day. Going into the day, this is what we were looking at. We were looking at that low from Tuesday to low. Now, we traded that 38% retracement and then went down and completed this negative 23% profit target, because this is a completion and we started to rally from that level. That 27.23 is a level I want to mark up going forward. Okay, I want to mark that up going forward, and then I'm going to go ahead and actually delete that draw because I no longer need it. Now that low of Tuesday to low, our 50% retracement, guys, is 27.89. that's going to line up with the resistance zones of what we came into on the prior day. We did get rejected there in the morning. We got rejected there in the afternoon. That is going to be the crucial level to see if we can get above. And if we go back to our morning trade plan worksheet, I just want to see 27.92 is going to be R1. So that's within 3 points. Within 3 points. If we can clear through those levels here, guys, I want to just back out, and I would go to the first extension that led our way down before finding any resistance, and that began from a 29.37 anchor to low. I would fully expect us to rally up into that 50% retracement. So if we can clear through 89s and really get moving, I would expect us to move to possibly 28.25. So I do want to just go ahead. I'm going to bring this resistance zone down here. It's 28.25 quarter, and then mark up this 27.98 half as well. All right. But first step this morning is going to be to basically get bid above the open, stay bid above the open. If we hold, guys, if we hold these resistance levels, I would look and expect. Now, yesterday we had a completion. I do not expect a completion of this extension. There's just too much support down here. Something to be aware of on the higher time frame, guys, and I mentioned this in the Discord chat yesterday. The full 50% retracement from the low of 2018 to the high is 27.38. We traded that level yesterday right before the close. That is a significant, the most significant halfway back you could possibly trade, especially this close to the end of the year. Since we've made this new all-time high, guys, there is nothing telling me that we will not complete this profit target at 3,045. So that's a new all-time high. That is basically 400 points higher than its entry. So we're talking a huge move, or 300 points higher from its entry. So this is very well could be the biggest pullback of the next year in the best entry. For those of you guys who are long-term investors, for those of you guys who hold things, go today, forget about trading. Look through your charts of the stocks that you want to own, the companies that you like. If you want to do it any day, this is the time. We are at a full 50% retracement. Yes, there's a possibility it breaks, but guys, the market continues to go to new all-time highs. This is definitely a higher time frame setup worth looking at. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. That level is 27.38. Okay, so 27.38. I'm going to go ahead and set an alert on that level in case we retest it, which is obviously always a possibility. So make sure you set that, and then also setting an alert at the 27.23. That's what I have for the S&P here today, guys. Be patient. You're going to you cannot use 2-point stops trading futures today unless you are lightning quick. So just be aware, guys, the ranges are absolutely massive. Now for the Russell, I'm going to go out to the weekly chart as well. Just start on that higher time frame. This full 50% retracement from 2018 has also traded, and really this 61.8 is 1541.6. It has been defended. That means the long is still valid. The Russell led our way down. I expect that 61.8 to hold. Now yesterday, interesting enough, while the S&P got a completion of its extension, this Russell here did not get a completion of its extension. This Russell did not get a completion of its extension. That is from the low of Friday to low here. I'm just going to drag this down right there. All right, so what I'm going to be looking for is to see if there's participation again. If we start getting bid back above the 1580.7, that is that higher time frame halfway back for the year. It's that same level in the S&P 500, but the Russell is the weakest. So watch for the longs need to get bid above 1580. If we start getting an offer back below 1557, that's a weekly candle opening going back to I want to say April. So that is the weekly opening candle going back to April, and it was our support in the overnight session on Thursday. Watch for that level to continue to hold to the downside. If we run down off the morning, that 1557 half should be holding. If we catch a bid, you're going to be running into basically the 1578 to 1580. If we start getting bid above 1580, then we have a higher chance of a short covering rally. And I would think that the Russell, outside of like one little blip right here at this 1607, has one level it never traded, was this halfway back here from 1711.8. If the Russell does stage a major rally, I believe it will rally, and at some point I think this is going to happen next week. I don't know, I don't think it happens today, although anything's on the table. 1629 would be where I would anticipate us to rally to if we break out on the higher time frames. For those of you guys taking longer time frame positions, if we can get bid above that 1580 and rotate to that 1628, that's going to be something I'm going to be looking for. All right, moving on now to, let's go to the Dow. All right, guys, the Dow also, same thing, guys. These are like, these are the types of days I get excited. Very rarely, and I cannot stress this enough, do we get full halfway backs for the year. This is also really the first time a full halfway back for the year is like set up pretty cleanly. Last year, I don't even think we got one in the Dow. I mean, look at this run in the Dow on the prior year. Let's see, I think there was one right here. Let's see, that's in April, and then that ended up completing, but that was the only halfway back for the year of 2017, and then I do not believe, there was no halfway back for the year in 2016, and I don't have data on my chart right now before that, but this is a very large setup. This 25,027 has rocking and rolling here in the Dow. Guys, you can see the way we traded it. We traded into this level. We completed profit targets in a ripped higher. Absolutely awesome setup here. Like I said, these are super rare to even occur. Just went back and there's not a lot of times we get these setups, guys. So I just want to point out, these are massive, massive, massive long setups over extreme amounts of time frame. This target in the Dow is all the way up at 27,881. So we can go ahead and set an alert all the way up there, 27,881. I'm gonna go and just go ahead and type this in, 881, and then I'm gonna put a little note, -23 for the year in the Dow. Cool. That's something we want to be aware of, because that will eventually come into play. Assuming the world continues to go in circles, the market will continue to go higher. What we'd look for here today for the break of the shorts, we have the same anchor new low sequence, the low of Monday to low. The low of Monday to low here, guys. And, oops. If we can bid above 25,558, which you can see there was basically it looks like a 13-point front run in the overnight session of that level. That is what I would look for. I would expect the Dow to rally all the way up into the leg start down from 26,059. So a breakout to the upside. There'll be a little bit of sellers just because there has been a lot of downward pressure, but once we get that rally going, we should make a move up to 26,664 to 26,040 area, and that's what I would be looking for. Okay, that's what I'd be looking for. Moving on then to the NASDAQ. Now the NASDAQ is the first market to break its extension sequence. Once again, going out to that higher time frame, guys. The fact that we have all the Russell was the first market to pull full 50% retracement. Full 50% of the retracement happened in the Russell on Wednesday. The Russell led our way lower. Okay, the Russell led our way lower. The NASDAQ, S&P, and Dow all traded their full halfway back for the year. And once again, I'm going to hammer this down. That is 69.46 here in the NASDAQ. I believe the NASDAQ even yesterday. The NASDAQ was the first market to trade yesterday. So the NASDAQ actually came into that level into the overnight session. We traded it, we rallied, we retested during the RTH session, during the bell-to-bell NYSE session, and we have ripped out and we have already broken the opposing extension. The only thing I would anticipate right now, I do expect the Nasdaq to rally all the way to the higher time frame extension, get up to 72.56 before facing any resistance, and really we could go to that prior low from Monday, which is like 72.88. So on a breakout here, guys, you have right now, it's basically 100 points of upside. 100 points of upside to the 72.56 before I see any major resistance levels. Okay, with that being said, guys, that's going to wrap up my morning trade plan. If you guys like this, please give it a thumbs up, leave your comments below. Thank you for watching the MLT morning trade plan. If you enjoyed this content, give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and if you're serious about learning to trade, make sure to check out our courses. Anyways, that's gonna wrap it up, guys. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the Discord and that unlisted live stream. Alright guys, I'm going to step away here to the market opens. And then I'll be back. But we'll see where we're rock and rolling. For futures, I'm probably going to focus here on gold and oil unless we come into some major levels. Alright guys, we're open here and we are moving, and the S&P is frozen again. No, I will post the charts here in the Discord. Where are you, Discord? The charts will be posted in the morning trade plan library. Alright guys, we are seeing still sellers here in these indexes. The Russell is the market losing it the quickest. Getting back down to that 1557 first. Gold's catching a bid, staying with its trend. All right, back on the bid, guys. We got down to that. Didn't quite get there actually. 15 traded like a front run of the tick of that 1557. Back on the bid side of things. Yeah, my toss charts are basically useless right now. Unfortunately. Who needs charts to trade anyway, right, guys? We use fundamentals. The fundamentals say the market is undervalued relative to 3 days ago. Gosh, I cannot even 25.9. Yeah, we're like a few ticks off here in I mean, that's just what happens. It happens truthfully, this happens every time quotes get overloaded. Yesterday I read that there was a record 50. I'll have to go back and look at it, but there was a record amount of quotes yesterday, and the previous day was the previous record. So like basically when these types of markets happen, there is so many algos, they just quote stuff the machines, and that's what's going on. Yesterday was 50. There was 50 billion option stock futures quotes, which is 3 terabytes of data, and the previous record before that was the prior day. So yesterday, Thursday, 50 billion option stocks and futures quotes in a single day, 50 billion, and then the previous day had 42 billion. And see, you can watch it. Is that you, Nate? You can watch it on the Morning Trade Plan library. Where does that information come from? A guy named Eric Hunsater, who runs he runs Nadex.net, which basically is a market analysis data broker. So that's why you're not able to see these quotes right now. I mean, it's just quote stuffing. They're clogging the pipes. It's pretty crazy. am using a typewriter. Can you hear me? I thought I muted myself. Wait, can you guys hear me? The mic is still on? That's funny because I muted myself, so I don't know why it's not coming, why it's still coming through. If mute means noise. So you can obviously hear me talking. Oh. Alright, well, good to know. I guess I'll unmute myself because I did nothing. Let's see, desktop audio. As long as you don't, I mean, my keys, I don't know, they're just big, I guess. But yeah, I see Perry used to hit me up with a DM. You have to mute in Streamlabs. I did actually mute in Streamlabs, Perry, under the mic/aux thing. Is that where you mute? Desktop audio, maybe? Maybe I have to mute that as well. Yeah, I mean, it's basically untradeable. Oh, you know what? I see. All right, can you hear me now? Yeah, apparently I have two different mic inputs, so I muted one and not the other, so it didn't do much. Okay. Yeah, guys, basically with the whole quote thing and toss, I mean, it's just an unfortunate circumstance, but I just posted this tweet in here. The whole system's just getting slammed with quotes, like unbelievable amount of quotes. So it's just freezing up toss. I mean, it's untradeable. I that's why I said, like, gold to me, like the indexes right now, I'm looking at binary options just because I don't have to worry about like the stops as much. But for futures trading, like if you're in the MLT Pro Trader course, I would say stick with oil and gold. These moves are too wide, and you're just gonna get stopped out or have to, like, basically if you're swing trading, you have to triple the size of your stop and reduce your size. So if you're trading a 3 lot in the S&P, you gotta reduce that 3 lot to a 1 lot and then triple your size, or I'm sorry, triple the size of your stop, in my opinion. Hearing you double time repeat. If you're trading the indexes intraday here, you literally should be reducing your size by a third and tripling the size of your average stop. Like, I usually use a 2-point stop. I cannot use a 2-point stop in this volatility. You will get like stopped out with every order. So if we go to the 5-minute right here, the ATR in the 5 minutes about 4.5 points. So on a 5-minute chart, we have 4.5 points every 5 minutes. Very rarely are you going to get an entry where you don't get stopped out. So, you know, your stop size should at least be bigger than 4.5 points. All right, just gonna pop on here real quick with some audio. My stop is typically 10 ticks on entry for a CL position, Derek, and then I'll move it up accordingly. I always use the same size stop on all of my entries. It's 2 points in the S&P 500, 20 in the Dow, 20 in the Russell, and also 20 in the Nasdaq. 10 in gold, 10 in CL ticks. But all right, guys, we are backing off here in the S&P 500. We are holding these highs. I would expect us to rotate down, guys. If as soon as we lose this support, like 64, we're probably gonna come down into that gap fill. Just something, to be aware of. I wouldn't think we would stop until we fill that gap if we do take out this morning's lows. There's no reason we should. The Nasdaq has come to the tick on that 38% retracement of that higher time frame extension, 71, 73, 75. That's a tongue twister for you. You can see we have rotated right up into that level, and we are coming off of it. It's actually pretty calm. I mean, we're up 22 points. It seems like a heck of a lot more than that, but it's really not. It's a pretty calm day here so far in the indexes. I do think charts are now finally keeping up, but I'll continue to focus on only the bigger levels here in the indexes. If it's not at a big level, I'm not interested in trading it. There's a lot of volatility here, guys. You really got to be patient. Wait for your pitches. Do not rush. If there's any questions about any of these markets before I go, let me know. Reminder, guys, while the stream's going on, use the MLT chat. You're welcome to use the futures, Nadex, and Forex chat if you want to talk about specifically, but I pay attention mostly to the MLT chat, so just something to keep in mind. With that being said, everybody, enjoy your weekend. Thank you for watching. Remember to pursue with passion, remove self-doubt, and succeed with effort, guys. Everybody have a great weekend, and I will see you on Monday. Take care.